So Google have announced their new series of Nexus devices, the Nexus 4, the enhanced Nexus 7 and of course the Nexus 10. Now that's fantastic news for any gadget lover, especially if you're a fan of Android. There's lots of enhancements in Android 4.2 which is going to come as a benefit, but you've also got the new devices which gives us something new to crave after. You've also got the massive benefit of the price. They're really quite cost effective and you can't really knock them. However, there's only one winner to this price, and that's Google. Now, in the short term, you as a consumer win because you get the latest technology at a price which is generally a lot less than competing products from other manufacturers. Now, of course, you've got Samsung and LG making the products on the behalf of Google, but Samsung and LG also have their own mobile devices, but the pricing structure is quite different. With Google, they're literally making these devices nigh on at cost. Thus, you get a very cost-effective product, and in the short term, you win, so that's fantastic. The downside is, in 12, 18, 24 months, when you're looking to upgrade your mobile product, you might not want to buy the next Google Nexus device. You may want something different. You may want the Sony, you may want the Samsung branded device. The fact of the matter is, a business can't operate on such low profit margins. It needs to make money to be able to produce the devices and bring the new technology to market. So if you want to move away from the Nexus model, you are now going to have to pay a premium. So if you were paying £350 for the device first time, it's quite possible that your new device that isn't Nexus is going to be in the £450 region, simply because profits need to be made on the device to bring it to market. But I'm being a bit of a devil's advocate on that one. Over the lifespan of the product, it probably pays for itself whether it's 350 or 450. But why do I think that Google is the only winner? Well, you've got the likes of LG and Samsung looking to produce these devices on their behalf, and they're fantastic devices. You can't knock them. I think I'll certainly be getting my hands on one because that Nexus 4 does look quite interesting, and I love the idea of vanilla Android. However, what this starts to limit is some of the innovation from other manufacturers. Because Google are going to have quite big success with this range of Nexus devices, the sales of the Samsungs and the Sonys and the Motorola are all going to be affected slightly. Now, the likes of Samsung are probably going to be less affected than Sony or Motorola, but what this means ultimately is the reduction in sales means they have to rethink their mobile strategy and what products they're bringing to you, and it also means a lack of innovation. So one of the standout features of Samsung is, whilst their products are of a reasonably good quality, they perform well, you're getting the latest updates a lot of the time, albeit fairly slowly, they have some enhanced features which make them unique. Now, with price and profit being driven down, Samsung and other manufacturers are going to have to look at whether they continue to bring you those unique features. Now, those unique features are indeed important because they differentiate the Samsung product from the Nexus device, from the Sony device, but they all have a cost attached to them. And whilst there are enhancements to the mobile device, those costs have to be considered when it comes to actually producing the device and getting out to you as a consumer. And you might not want to pay that extra £50 or £100 for that Samsung device that has those unique features when you've been used to a Google Nexus device that's cost you a lot less. So it's a bit of a sort of catch-22 situation. And the reason that Google then only win is because they're the ones benefiting. These devices are running Android. Android's being adopted at a massive rate, and we're tying ourselves into the Android ecosystem. And by buying Nexus devices, you then in turn start getting content from the Play Store. And that's the same whether you buy a Samsung, a Nexus device, an LG, a Motorola, a Sony. And thus, whether you're buying any of these devices, Google are winning because you're downloading the apps through their marketplace. They're capturing you. But the likes of Sony and Motorola are being driven out because you can buy this cheap Nexus device. But Google are winning simply because you're still buying an Android product. They make the money whether you buy an LG, a Motorola, a Samsung. It doesn't really matter to them. Just the fact is that you are downloading their content, you're using their services, and thus they are the real winner. Now, I love Google products. I'm a complete advocate. Yes, I'm an Android fanboy to some degree, but I'm open to all the other operating systems. I use all the Google services, be it Google Drive, Gmail, Gtalk. I use them all. So I'm kind of pro Google, but it does concern me that as a consumer, I'm being led into this false perception of what the cost of mobile devices actually are. But what I'm actually getting is a very good product, but it's lacking innovation in some places. And in a year's time, if I come to reassess my mobile device needs, I'm going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, really, because I'm going to be thinking that's really expensive from Samsung over there, but it's going to have features that the Nexus devices simply won't. So what are your thoughts on this? Is Google really the winner? Am I looking at this in the slightly wrong light? I'd be interested to hear your comments.